Hello, family. Welcome back for another episode of W.H.O.L.E with your girl, Camille Young. So glad you're here joining me on today. Just glad to have my holy rollers with me. Yes, it's Thursday. I told you every Thursday I'm going to drop a new video with some new content for us to discuss and talk about. So glad that you are here. And for those of you who may be watching for the first time, thank you so much for clicking in and watching. Be sure to subscribe, be sure to like, be sure to share, as well as comment. As I said before, I love engaging with you all in the comments. Thank you for all of you who always put comments in the comment section. So thank you so much for that. Also, if you're interested in some life coaching, support, about your relationship or wherever you are in your journey in life, I would love to connect with you. If you could, please reach out to me at O2BeWhole@gmail.com. That's OHTOBEWHOLE @gmail.com. All right, now that we have all of that out of the way, let's get to today's topic. Guys, today's topic is, do you have a victim's mentality? Playing the blame game. Do you have a victim's mentality, and are you playing the blame game? In essence, what the victim mentality means is, do you always say it's someone else's fault? Okay? Think about that. You never accept accountability or responsibility for your actions and your current life status. Where you are in life, you want to blame it on something or someone else and not take full responsibility for where you are in life. And that's what the victim's mentality looks like. Now, let me be very clear about something. Everybody has been a victim of something. Everybody has been a victim of something, whether it's been of an actual crime, rejection, some form of abuse, neglect, being misunderstood, hate crime, or racism, prejudice, discrimination, being used or taken advantage of, taken for granted. You've been lied on. So everybody has been a victim of something. And unfortunately, being victimization is one of those things where it's unavoidable. It's an unavoidable experience in life, because there are just people who are, whether it's done purposefully or not, you can fall prey to being a victim of something. And it doesn't always have to be a victim of crime necessarily, but it could be something that has caused and brought about trauma in your life, and you are a victim of that. So I'm not negating or trying to minimize being a victim, but it's a whole nother thing when we're talking about taking on a victim's mentality. And so everybody has a story. Everybody has a story, no matter how good somebody's life may appear to be, no matter how bad somebody's life may appear to be. Everybody's got a story, and everybody has had to experience some level of difficulty and what I'm calling today some level of victimization in their life. But the issue is not about being a victim. Again, it's the mentality that you take after being victimized. Okay. When you think about being or having a victim's mentality, these are some of the things that you will hear people say when they have a victim's mentality. You may hear them say something like, "Get your eyes off me. Look at yourself." Okay. Have you heard that before? I know I have. Ain't nobody perfect. They always want to throw that out no matter what. Even if they're in the wrong, they may say, "Ain't nobody perfect. God's still working on me." That type thing. And then they always say things like, "If you hadn't done that to me, I wouldn't have done that to you." Blaming their reaction based on your action. And then another thing they may ask is, or a question that they may ask is, why me? Why does this stuff always happen to me? Okay, we're talking about a victim's mentality and things that people with a victim's mentality, many times the type of language and jargon that they use to kind of help you understand, okay, this person still got some unhealed wounds. And then you may even hear somebody say, "You're not my mama. You're not my daddy. You're not the boss of me. You know, those type of people, you really, if you hear these things come out of their mouth pretty regularly, it's a good chance that they are suffering with a victim's mentality. I don't know what their trauma may be, but it's something that needs to be investigated if you're looking to date them. Okay. And people who have a victim mentality, they rarely, if ever, give an apology or admit their role in a disagreement. So if something should happen where two people are disagreeing, it's like they always want to blame you, or, you know, and take the, you know, the shine the light on you and not on themselves. Okay. They always want to, you know, say what you did that caused them to do what they did, versus them saying, hey, you know, okay, I can accept responsibility for this. I can take accountability for this. And they are really people who are ticking time bombs. It's like they are just waiting to blow up because of the unhealed hurt and the unhealed pain that they may be they are actually dealing with. And they're usually unhappy people, and it's evident to everybody else that they're unhappy people. They may be trying to hide it, but they can't hide it because it comes out in their speech. It comes out in the things that they say and how they respond, you know, in conversations, especially when it comes to disagreement. And so, you know, a person who is has a victim's mentality, you know, you could just walk up to them. Let's just say you're in a relationship with them, and you're in a relationship with someone who has a victim's mentality. You may say, baby, you okay? What you mean, am I okay? Why you always asking me questions? You know, it's just like an automatic jump to the defense. You know, everything offends them, and they have to feel like they have to constantly defend themselves. And you're just simply asking a question, and you're like, well, my bad. I just asked how you doing, or, you know, what's going on, or are you okay? And it's like an automatic, you know, they just blow it up and blow it out of proportion. You know, it's like somebody is out to get them, you know. They just have that mentality of wanting to be so defensive about the smallest thing. The very smallest thing could easily tick them off, but and they always deflect. You know, they can never truly accept their role in the situation. So it's really a sad situation because they have not dealt with the issues that have caused them to be this way. And it's just too painful for them to face, too painful for them to bear. You know, they're fearful of what maybe they may feel if they actually admit what's going on or what happened to them to cause them to live in this life. And so just be mindful as you know, date, as you're in relationships, be mindful of people who may have that victim mentality, because it bleeds into their lack of being able to effectively communicate. Again, because they don't want to admit their role. You know, in any relationship, nobody is always going to be, no one person is always going to be right. Everybody's going to make errors in the relationship. But what's important is when you know that you've made that error, it's important that you accept responsibility for your role in it. You've got to. And no matter how small the role is that you may have played in the disagreement or whatever may have happened, or the debacle, you have to accept your role in it. I always look at people, you know, when they're always saying, well, if they hadn't done this, or blaming others, and they never say, well, look, I could have done this differently. That's something to pay attention to when someone can't say, hey, well, you know, they did what they did, but I know what I did as well. And, you know, I could have done this differently. Okay, those are things that you really, really need to think about. And even if you may be the person, you know, many times we look at other people, we can see their victim mentality. But let's look at you. Let's make sure you're not the one who's dealing with a victim's mentality. Ask yourself, do I have a victim's mentality? Do I play the game, the blame game when I'm confronted, by someone who expresses how they are experiencing me? Am I the one who gets offended when someone says, well, I don't like how you did that? Or, can we talk about this? Because that wasn't cool. And am I the one that says, why you always want to talk? Why you always want to, think about that. Ask yourself that, do you accept accountability and responsibility for your actions? Accountability in my definition means that, you're willing to do what it takes to make it right or accept the penalty for the role that you played in the situation. That's accountability. And then responsibility is saying, hey, I'm the one. You're accepting the fact that saying I was the one that was wrong, or I was wrong in what I did. You're admitting the wrong in your role in the situation. Okay. And if this is you, or someone who is like this, I want to offer you some level of support, because this way of being, you will never be able to properly be in a healthy relationship if you handle your life in this way, or if you don't deal with, what has caused you to have this type of mentality, when you're dealing in relationships, not just, relationships, dating relationships or marital relationships, but just even in friendships and, even work relationships. If you have a victim's mentality, everybody is out to get you in your mind. Everybody is out to get you, and you've got to protect yourself, and you can't go through life like that. So I want to offer you a couple things. One, you need to get into some therapy and counseling. I know we as an African American community, many times we're becoming more open to it. I must admit, I've heard more African Americans talk about having a therapist or going through counseling, those type of things, but it's still not enough. We need to get into some therapy when you're dealing with this type of mentality. Not some bootleg. You need a licensed therapist, a licensed counselor. All right. I mean, pastors are fine. Don't get me wrong. But sometimes you need somebody who has a degree and some type of licensure around this type of work for you to really, really get the help that you need to get past this victim's mentality. Two, there are a couple videos that I did. One being, are you slick mad at God, and to heal from your trauma? Go back and watch those videos, because I believe that when people carry a victim's mentality, and they have a God conscience, I believe that there is some level of disconnect, meaning they blame God for some things, and they have not admitted to him that they are mad at him. And that's really what it comes down to. So they hold on to this mentality of, why did this happen to me? Or, they can't move forward because they believe, it's God's fault, or they blame God. So go back and watch those two videos. Are you slick mad at God, and heal from your trauma? Okay. And then begin to do a daily regimen of reading God's word, meditating on it, and then praying. All right. Those are things that you should do daily, where you read the word of God. And I'm talking about the Bible, and meditate on the words that you have read, meaning you're sitting and thinking and really going into deep thought about what you have read in the Bible. And then after that, praying. Your communication, your direct communication to God. And then fourthly, I would say, find a trusted person, whether it's a family member, a friend, your counselor, a sponsor, whomever it is, who will support you through this arduous yet changing process. Okay, it's a life-changing process to come out of a victim's mentality. And if you don't have a trusted person that you can go to, you need to go ahead and hire you a therapist. You probably need to get in therapy anyway. Okay, you need a therapist and a friend, and a trusted friend. But if you don't have a trusted friend, you definitely need to go ahead and get some therapy so that you can get through this, because this is just not a good way to live life. You're just unhappy, you're depressed, and who wants to live a life of depression? Who wants to live a life of unhappiness? I know I don't. And I know I'm pretty sure you don't either. So really evaluate yourself. If you know somebody, if it's not you, if you know somebody who you feel like, man, they always, it's just they cool and everything, but it's something going on with them. Share this video with them. Share it with them, just to see if they would be open, to hearing what I have to say. Sometimes hearing it from another person can maybe push somebody to do what they need to do. So I want you to be an overcomer. I want you to be whole. That's the name of this channel, O to be whole. You want to be whole in life. And carrying a victim's mentality is not walking in wholeness. It absolutely not is walking in wholeness. So look, let's do this, guys. Let's make sure that we don't have a victim's mentality, and if we are around people who do, let's get them exposed to some things to help them move past that, okay? All right, well, thank you so much for watching today and being a part of the O to be Whole YouTube channel, the Holy Rollers. Yay! Give yourselves a hand. Y'all, this is about 5 going into 6 months of me doing this channel, and I thank all of you for hanging in there with me. And I appreciate all of our new viewers, my new subscribers. Thank you so much for being a part of the Holy Roller family. All right, again, make sure you look out for next Thursday for another episode of O to be Whole. Subscribe, like, share, and be sure to comment in the comment section. And until next time, God bless.